All right, so how do you make more money on DoorDash? That's one question that many Dashers go looking for the answer to. When the reason why we are looking for this answer, it's because we aren't even coming close to making the money that we used to make. Maybe. But what if I told you you might be making the same amount of money or even more? You just don't really realize it. In this video, I'd like to share with you why Dashers think they aren't making enough money, why Dashers think they are making less, and stick around towards the end. We will talk about you might have even made more and you just didn't realize it. So why do Dashers think they aren't making enough? Well, it's kind of simple. No matter what you make, is it ever enough when you really think about it? There are always bills to pay, and even more. There's always the unexpected. Let's use this example. If you are used to making $500 per week, made up number off the top of my head, and you think, hey, if I just made 1,000, that would help out so much. Any money would help out, right? But if you started making that $1,000 because you worked really hard, will that ever be enough? The thing with money is we all need it. No matter what the money you make, will it ever be enough? My answer is no. I can give myself a raise every single year and keep doing better and better and better. But in my eyes, it's never enough because there's reasons behind it, which we'll get into in just a little bit. Why do Dashers think they're making less? Well, there's a lot of factors in this equation, especially things that happened over even the past year. Inflation, everything is more expensive. I don't know about you, but I dread going grocery shopping because how expensive is it to feed a family? Heck, how expensive it isn't just to feed one person. And all this is inflation. The cost of living has gone up. Taxes, if you're in an area that taxes have gone up. There are a lot of external factors. Heck, you could have even bought a new car, and now you even have one more bill to pay. When you look at the offer screens that are coming into your phone through DoorDash, I don't know about you, but I look at them and go, man, they're nowhere near what they used to be. You start to see $4, $5, maybe if you're lucky, $6 orders, and that's the new norm. That never used to be a thing. Like Dashers, at least myself, I would look at a $6 order and that would be my minimum back in the day. Now it's like, oh, I got a $6 order and it's only going 2 miles. Except before I'd be like, oh, $6? I don't know. I think I might decline this one. Things in DoorDash are changing just as much as the outside sources are changing in our lives. And a lot of it is DoorDash changing the app. Heck, we lost base pay. It used to be $2.75. Before that, it was $3, if I'm not mistaken. When I started, it was $5 base pay. Everything keeps going down. And when you look at the money you make, it kind of goes back to my original thought. Is it ever enough? But when you're looking at the orders that DoorDash is sending you, it's very interesting because you have to take more orders, I should say, to make the same amount of money. And here's another thing why we think we're making less money. A lot of us, including myself, we have such a negative perception of DoorDash just because of all the stuff they've done to Dashers over the years. I always say they make me the most amount of money. I don't always agree with their business practices, but because everything it feels like that they do is here to really screw the driver and it ends up being less money in the long run for the driver. Our negativity towards DoorDash can sometimes feel like we're even making less because we're like, oh, okay, we're going to go work DoorDash today. And that's not the way it is. A lot of us, including myself, think back to the times that we're like, wow, I remember when a large order catering on a minimum would pay like $20. And now at a minimum, it could be like $5 for food that's you're delivering for over $100. That's crazy to me. And not only that, but do we have a negative perspective, or do we have a negative perception on DoorDash just because they're suggesting to the customer a lower tip for the driver? That has a lot to do with the money that we're making on the platform. So with all of that being said, and I know I talk negatively, I am sorry, but I also think I talk reality a lot of the time. But why think about this? And stick with me for just a little bit on this one. So why could you have made more money on DoorDash and not even realized it? With all the negative stuff that I just talked about, well, it got me thinking because I kept saying, I'm like, I keep making my goals every day. That's not the issue. But man, it feels like I'm taking like 5 orders an hour in order to do that. Like, I feel like it's a lot more orders I'm taking in to make the same amount of money. But then I'm thinking, well, it feels like I'm losing money, but am I really losing money? So then I went back to my taxes of last year. I'm not here to share my taxes. That's not what this is about. But I made more money on DoorDash last year than I did the year before. I'm like, how is that even possible? So then I looked at this year's earnings, and I always say the proof is in reality. I'm on track to make more money than I did last year. Granted, this is just DoorDash. This isn't even the other apps that I'm working. Last year, I saw an increase in whole of all the apps that I actually work, which is always a good thing. But did it feel like it? No, not even close. It never feels like you're having any kind of increases just because of all the negativity that surrounds DoorDash. But in reality, you might be making more money. You just don't realize it because it's never enough. Or DoorDash has changed along the line something that makes you feel as though, man, I am losing so much money by working in this app. But that's sometimes not reality. I'm going to challenge you to go through your year this year and go through what you did last year and the year before and really compare to your own research on your own self. And it might be that you really are losing money. And I'm sorry if that's the case, but to me, this was like a wake up call for me because I'm like, it appears that I'm losing money, but I'm really not. It just means that I might be taking more orders in order to produce the same amount of money. Is that right? No, not by any means. I would rather take one order of $30 that's going to take me an hour to do, opposed to taking like 5 small little tiny orders to produce the same amount of money. But that's the way that DoorDash has been operating, unless you believe in the shop and pay system, which is what DoorDash is going to focus on in the near future. So what do you think about all this? Is working DoorDash ever enough? Is the money ever enough? And have you ever realized that you might be actually making the same amount of money or more? It's just that our perception of DoorDash is so negative, we don't really realize it sometimes. Go ahead. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this, or have you experienced the same exact thing? I talk a lot about DoorDash on this channel, and if you're looking for more information and to binge watch some more videos, check this one out next. I'll see you over there.